moved it out to California because everyone had sort of relocated here. And we looked around for a building to build a studio in, and found this warehouse, and we started construction, and it was a long process, building out the rooms and then sitting down and trying to write lyrics for a few hours and listening to demos and rearranging songs. It went on for months. It was like 6 or 8 months or something like that. And a double album. And this split CD concept of one CD being rock and the other CD being acoustic.
Dave kind of had this grand vision, if I recall correctly. Before we started, he wanted to make a double record, and he wanted to split it up, acoustic-y stuff on one disc, more heavier stuff on the other. But it was interesting because we recorded, the way we went about doing that, we recorded all the rock stuff sort of the way you normally do it. Do all your drums, do all your guitar, do all your bass, sort of layer stuff over there. And then when it came time to do the acoustic stuff, Dave decided, we're going to do it differently. We're just going to record a song a day, basically. Everyone has to be here, and we're going to work it out and just record all the parts right then and there, And that changed the character of the record because we had so much fun doing it that way that we went back and redid the electric stuff and then added more electric stuff, kind of more, doing it with everybody in the studio, kind of recording songs as a whole instead of all broken up. When I look back at all the records we made, that was a good time. That was a really happy time. Because we just built the studio. It really felt like things were on a good roll, and then everyone was there every day, and it was just a good camaraderie making that record.
We almost left Best of You off the album because it was one of the first songs we'd recorded, and there were so many songs. There was 10 songs on each one of those CDs, but for every one of those songs, there were 3 that didn't make it. So, there were like 50 fucking songs that we were working on that got pared down to those 20. And when you record something in November, and it's April, and you haven't heard it for 3 months, you're like, oh yeah, fuck that. And our manager, John Silva, comes in and says, what about that Best of You song? The one that says, Best of You 100 times? What about that?
I remember, we recorded it and Dave did the vocals for it, and we just kind of put it away, and he played it for Silva, and then we had a couple of these other songs that we thought were the good ones, and Silva came to the studio and we played him all those and said, yeah, sounds good, with No Way Back, yeah. We thought No Way Back was going to be the first single for sure. And then Silva was like, let me hear that. What was that best song? That best song. Dave's like, oh, Best of You? We kind of forgot about that one. Put it up. Silva was like, that's your first single. And I remember them saying that. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. Best of You is great. Although I didn't get it at first. It was like kind of a new style. It really was. It was like so grand and sort of big. I just didn't understand it at first. Now I do.
We came out of the double record like all excited about all the possibilities that we could do with the band. That was a thing. And Dave had a lot of confidence too. It's like, well, I think we tried this new thing. It worked pretty well, and now there's just basically no type of music or nothing that we can't do.
That period of the band was so much fun too, like that acoustic tour, because we had never. That was like really. It was one thing to record some of those songs, but then to go out and play it with the extended band and everything, it was like that was. I don't think any of us had ever done anything like that at all. And we we spent like a solid 2 months rehearsing for that tour, which we've never done. We usually rehearse for like 3 days before, when you're learning your new record, to go tour it live.
We started rehearsing for that tour. We practiced for about a month, and I didn't know if this was going to be a show worth watching because we were sitting down. These were acoustic songs. Some of them were sleepy. I thought, are people going to enjoy this? Is it going to work? And the first show that we did was in England, And there was this level of intimacy that we hadn't experienced yet with our audience, because a lot of the songs were so low level, dynamic, quiet, gentle songs. You'd have an audience that was pin drop silence, like just so quiet, an audience that you could hear a whisper, like 3,000 people, and you could hear someone's chair creaking, and that became our new volume in a way. So it was like, man, I want to see how fucking quiet I can get this room as I do this next song.
It really gives Dave room and space to talk. And he's a good talker, man. He knows how to entertain people, and he goes off on his tangents of stories that people really enjoy, and it's just, yeah, it's good. And the acoustic thing really does work. It really, really does.
The Skin and Bones was that, like, it came out of that sort of sense of openness. Like, let's have more people be with us on tour and go and just do a bunch of quiet songs and see how that works. And you know, it's harder to do because you're not hiding behind all the distortion and big drums and amps and everything. And so we got a little bit better as a band and gained some confidence, and it was fun. You know, like you go and do the same type of thing for 10 years like we've done. You sort of need to strip it down or do something and try to figure out how to keep it exciting, and that was a good way to do it for us, I think.
It's like, you know, every album's like a reaction to the one before it in a way, you know. So I think the band had to come back with something that rocked harder after doing all the acoustic stuff that we did. You know, mm-hmm. If we had come out with, you know, the first single was like another Skin and Bonesy, acoustic-y, weird song, I don't think that would have flown.
That tour and the live album totally changed our band, and which led to Echo Silence, Patience and Grace, where I was so inspired by that acoustic tour that I was writing the next album while we were still on the road. I swear to God, we didn't take a break between those albums. From 2004 to 2008, there was no break. We went from building a studio to making a double album to going on a rock tour to going on an acoustic tour, going straight into the studio to make another record and touring for another 2 years. Winding up at fucking Wembley Stadium. It was just like, oh my God, what have we done? A song like Pretender is, you know, it's meant to begin an album or a show, mm-hmm. and build like that. And there's a reason that the chorus is what it is, because it's meant for everyone to fucking sing along.
And we all went down into the studio and recorded a demo of it in like an hour. We all came up with our parts, and Dave sort of orchestrated it, and then we all kind of had our own little ideas about what we wanted to do, and within an hour we had the music. The demo of it is so very similar, if not exact, to what the final product was.
We've been doing this for a long time, and I think we've made some pretty good music, and you don't want to ever go like, okay, we're gonna ride this out and continue doing exactly what we've done, or we're gonna be happy with songs that sound kind of like ones we've done in the past but aren't quite as good. Like, none of that sounds good. Like, you want to always hope that you're gonna make a great record that is that definitive record. So I don't know how everyone else feels about it. That's what I try to keep in mind, you know. And I think that's kind of where the band's at. Like, we have to try to top what we've done. That's our responsibility to ourselves.
So at the end of the day, what's next on the list is, I don't know. You know, we've done so much in that regard that I don't know, not really anything else on the list, you know, because I never considered that stuff even a possibility on the list. When I joined the band, we were playing 3/4 full theaters and clubs.
And now with having a greatest hits album, you start to realize, like, holy shit, all these songs, I remember that. Like, do we represent something now? That's weird.